my show, for instance, I had a co-host originally with Matt. Luckily, him and I are like brothers from other mothers, so we can complete each other's sentences. Even now, when I took the show over, which was, after doing it for, I don't know, a good 5-6 years together, that was different. So I was like, shit, what's my own voice? Like, what's my take on things? And, that was a journey of kind of, bobbing and weaving and not knowing really. I didn't have a North Star at the time. That was my gap in time that was pretty shitty, to say the least, because, not only did Matt and I stop doing the show together, we stopped business together, which we've done for like a decade plus. But then prior to that, had a daughter, which is great. But then literally 2 weeks before that, lost my dad to suicide.
Welcome to the Speakeasy Podcast, where the real conversations happen. Behind closed doors with the boldest entrepreneurs, creators, and growth minds in the game. No fluff, no filters, just the raw strategies, personal stories, and mental models that move the needle. I'm Eric Berman. Now let's get into it. Hello, in today's episode, we're going to meet Joe Fier, and I'm so pumped because if you're interested in learning about the world of clones, AI clones, how can I replicate myself and get my own clone, or what does that mean? You're going to learn from one of the biggest experts we have. In fact, the person that is really been consulting with the biggest company out there and the go-to guy who's implementing the clones across many of my clients, many of the people in Speakeasy. We're going to learn from Joe, and you're also going to hear an amazing journey of being a podcast guru, from how he went from podcasting to literally just tracking down the guy that built this incredible tech to now he's consulting for them and becoming the biggest implementer, and also how he survived and went through some incredible family tragedies to amazing things happen in this family and the journey that's got him here. So today I'm so excited to welcome Joe Fier. Awesome. Well, we got my limp microphone problem out of the way here, Joe. And that's a way to introduce to you. I'm excited because today we're going to talk about your world. I'm a guy who's been running podcast shows and teaching people to do podcasts. It's a little bit intimidating for me, but I'm going to try to get through it. And if I slip, you'll be able to, help pick me up here.
I can't lift up the microphone for you though, or whatever you call it.
That's a good point. And my limp microphone problem, we'll have to figure that on my own here. I'll handle that. But I'm stoked to talk to you today. And we're doing some exciting things too in Speakeasy. So we'll be talking about that a little bit. And also talking about clones and, Delphi and the world there. And I'm seeing a lot of that. And in fact, we're working with a lot of some clones through the project you're working on at Delphi. But you got a journey, man. This is a long journey for you. You and I have known each other in San Diego for, about 12 plus years?
Probably that now. Yeah. Because I think I've been in Speakeasy for 5 and more. I don't know. I've stopped counting, honestly.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Amazing. Yeah. You've been such a great member and helping us grow. And I've always initially known you as sort of like the podcast guy. Like, who do you talk to when you have podcast questions? And then that's kind of, not as much. And now it's more AI guy. And, I want to hear a little bit more, like, tell me about that journey. Like, what happens? Let's go back to the beginning and then you share some nuggets in the world of podcasting, and then we'll have transition over Delphi. Yeah.
It all connects, man. And podcasting came first. It was back in, I'm looking at the wall over here because Hustle Flowchart still have the podcast. It says established 2017. I have the old neon light on my wall. It's just not behind me. So that was with my old co-host, Matt Wolf, still best bud of mine. He's now like the AI guru news guy. You found him on YouTube. And so I took over the show after we split. That was probably 3.5 years ago now or something like that. And love each other still. It's all good. But, the journey started with content, podcasting. It evolved from, all over the place, even before that, a few shows. But the reason why I love podcasting, get to connect with anyone. It's kind of like you have your own stage and you get to invite people in. And guesting on shows are cool too, because you get to, go hang out on someone else's stage and, not have to do so much work.
So for a lot of us ADHD folk, it actually allows us to we're forced to pay attention. Like, I can't be multitasking here.
Exactly.
I'm actually having a real conversation with a human here. This is great.
Yeah. Teleprompters help too. And you're looking like right at it.
That's right.
That's my newest addition. But my journey, man, I love people. I love to connect. I think this is such a cool way to do it at scale, where you can share conversations. I remember when I started, and Matt and I, the reason why we even started our show is we're the dumb guys in the room. We want to learn from the best. We had a cool network at the time. I've always lived and breathed through my network. I know you're very similar. Connector, connecting people, giving value. I just do it naturally. I love it just because I want to help and learn new stuff, do cool shit. It's kind of basically life for me. And that's why I have a lot of spinning plates, but the podcast has always been that consistent thing.
And what's going on? Yes. What was the peak? Is it still being, and where's it at? And what were you doing
Yeah.
to help people in the podcast world?
Yeah, it just naturally evolved where helping people throughout, like, used to have programs for it. I've consulted, still do. I actually just launched a new podcast with a doctor client of mine. I'm not a doctor, but I can talk the talk. Like, it's again, it's like I'm kind of the dumb guy, but I can connect the dots for
Right.
people. So I don't know. It's evolved from, yeah, teaching to working, now partnering, but always having my own. And podcasting, I guess, has evolved in itself over the years. I feel like right now is a good resurgence, though. Like,
Yeah.
it's now a lot more video. You see it on YouTube. Actually, YouTube's the number one platform for podcasts now.
Interesting.
So that I just learned that from my producer, who
Wow.
now teaches me because he's been with me for like 6 years. So it's great to have a team. If you're gonna do your own podcast, have a team. I know you do. So
Yep.
shout out to Sammy,
Yep.
the crew.
How's it help? Because I mean, obviously, a lot of people that are probably listening today, listening, watching,
Yep.
thinking about doing the podcast, not doing. I mean, how has it really helped you in your career? Like, what's the takeaway for
Yep.
the why? Because it isn't, it's a commitment.
It is. And this is where I always say guest on someone else's show before you start your own,
Okay.
just to get a taste of it. Again, like you can leverage someone else's audience and their virtual stage. That's kind of how I see it. And just know what your agenda is. Like, what are you trying to do with that time? Like, don't just guest to just talk. In the beginning, that's kind of ultimately what it was. But then I knew it would stir a lot of connections. So I would say for me, I'll start with me and then I'll talk about some other reasons. But it's a great way to establish partnerships. Like for me, I invite someone on, you spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes with them, and you become friends. Like you're
Mm.
smiling at each other, you're nodding back and forth, and there's always that post chat. If you leave enough time at the end, like 10 minutes at least, you got some time to jam. I always ask, like, hey, when's your cutoff? Like, when do I have to get you out of here? Oh, cool. Well, in my mind, I'm going to always have a buffer there.
Smart, smart.
Always. And then that lines up, new opportunities or a JV thing, or maybe someone wants a Delphi or whatever it might be. Like that's how my brain goes. So it's partnerships at the core.
Well, it's interesting as you're saying this, you immediately got me thinking about, and I'm kind of going on one of my favorite old time books is, Winning Friends and How to Win Friends, Influence Others and all that. And I
Yep.
remember one of the takeaways is really back to the active listening. Like if you just let somebody talk 90% of the time and you're actively engaged in listening, like they want to like be your best friend. And so like you're sort of saying that in a different way. It was something that was taught years ago,
Yeah.
which that happens organically. If you're the host, you're asking questions and then the recipient's like, wow, what a great person, really got to know me. And
Yeah.
then you generally afterwards, like you're saying, I love that technique. I didn't even think about a simple thing is leave that buffer there. And then you're like, well, how else can I serve you? And then they're really probably there trying like, okay, well, now how can I help you? Like, they want to
Yeah.
reciprocate.
It's easy. And then you double that with I always follow up after the fact. Like I love Loom. So I whip out the phone, go in my backyard. I go away from the studio. So I take them somewhere else with me. I take them out back, like in the trees
Oh,
in the
cool.
sun, and I'm like, hey, I just like 1 minute video. Hey, it was awesome chatting with you yesterday, Eric. Like it was rad that we talked about this. Hey, I can connect you with this or, whatever you talked about, just actually follow up and maybe do an ask there.
It's again, what you're saying seems so fundamental obvious, but I bet most people don't do that. And it's like almost like you just took the ball to like 3 yard line. You didn't take it in the end zone. Like
Bingo.
with that simple follow up.
Yeah,
And I just know that from the world I play. And I'm amazed at how many people just don't do the follow up properly or have a system for that. And so many missed opportunities. So,
that's it.
I mean,
Yeah.
fundamentals, brilliant. I mean, and you just the cool way to do it. I love that.
It's simple. I mean, but yeah, you got to follow up. It could be manual. AI can help.
Yep.
Your team can help too. It helps me. So just,
Yep.
yeah, don't let it drop.
I love it. Okay, so you're doing this for a while. You're helping out, and you said you had some stories of how it's helped you and others, and taken beyond
Sure.
that. Yeah, so take me on the journey here.
So like Hustle and Flip, oh, just like my show, for instance, I had a co-host originally with Matt.
Yep.
And so that's a whole beast in itself. You got to have the right co-host if you're ever going to do that. Luckily, him and I are like brothers from other mothers. So we can complete each other's sentences, even now, even
Love
though
it.
like, we're not. So that's cool, like very unique. But yeah, when I took the show over, which was, after doing it for, I don't know, a good 5, 6 years together, that was different. So I was like,
Mm.
shit, what's my own voice? Like, what's my take on things? And, that was a journey of kind of, bobbing and weaving and not knowing really, I didn't have a North Star at the time. That was my gap in time that was pretty shitty, to say the least, because, well, it was like, not only did Matt and I stop doing the show together, we stopped business together, which we've done for like a decade plus, multiple types of things. But then, like, prior to that, had a daughter, which is great. But then, literally 2 weeks before that, lost my dad to suicide. It was
Oh,
like, so I'm walking backwards right now for you, but so this was a crazy ass era where I was trying to figure out A, who the hell was I? How do I navigate the business side, but also personal, not only with, losing my pops, but having a new daughter 2 weeks in, you know?
Jesus. Wow. I mean, I can't, I mean, first of all, I'm so sorry to hear that. I mean, wow. I can't imagine. So, three major life events. How did you get through that? I mean, if you're willing to share, I mean, others that might have gone through some trauma like that, I'm sure.
It was yeah, no, I'm totally open, and I realized that because I was guilting my dad at first, because I'm like, communication, because like, I felt like he was disconnected, which kinda gets me to where I'm at now. It kinda connects is I see a lot of like, he was disconnected, I was disconnected from him, and I think a lot of people are disconnected in their own way, they don't talk. So whatever struggle he was going through, I still don't know what happened, but it happened quick. Yeah, literally 2 weeks before my daughter, so then, like, you have this lowest point I've ever felt, and then at the highest point, I'm like, "Jesus Christ." So, sorry, swearing a
No,
lot about what I
no, it's
did, man.
okay. Take your time. I mean, that's a lot of emotion to deal with. And I could see it still. I mean, it's still today. How do you, I mean, just even remembering that, I can't, I mean, like,
Yeah, no, it's vivid, I won't go there now, but yeah, when you're getting that knock on the door from a sheriff at 6 in the morning, that's how you find out, yeah. But saying all that, the way I did it is, like, a lot of reflection time, a lot of me digging into just what the hell do I believe? Like, who am I at the core level? And then, like, literally going back to all, like, my darkest points. This is over a period of a couple years. I'd
mm,
say I was like self-reflection, trying to be kind to myself because I got angry for a while, like,
mhm.
after losing him, there's definitely a period and then, sleepless nights with a baby.
Yeah.
It's tough to manage all that stuff,
Oh, man.
let
Yeah.
alone business and marriage and but
Mhm.
luckily got it all still. But yeah, like, it's honestly, the podcast didn't stop. That's the crazy thing is because I wanted to keep talking. I shared actually very
It almost helped you. It was almost like a, part of the cure.
hard.
You familiar, you felt comfortable there, even though you're navigating life without the partner.
Yep.
It was almost a challenge and you needed that there to help you get through.
Absolutely. And luckily, Matt was hanging around during this time period, so he was
Mhm.
super supportive, knew my pops too. So he was like, dude, do what you got to do. I'm going to carry the weight as much as I can. But still, like, that's where I think it was like this fuzzy area for all of us. It was like, oh, okay, something's not clicking. And it wasn't just because of that, but in general, there needed to be a shakeup. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, it was not until I was like, I feel like this whole interaction connection. So, I'll bring it back. You brought up cloning and Delphi.
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago, almost to the date, 2 years now in like a couple weeks. I found this Delphi service, but like before I even knew that, the reason I was hunting for is I had the podcast still, and I was like, I would love an interactive way, like not talking at people. Like obviously there's two of us here, but like a lot of us are just listening and watching. So I wanted to create a way. I'm like, how can people interact with not only me, but all of the episodes I've already recorded? I think at that time it was like
Mm.
500, almost up to 700 now, which is nuts. And it was literally that. Like I was on a hunt. I tried like 20 different chat bots. This is right when AI was starting to kind of pick up,
Yep.
and they're all stupid bots. They're dumb bots. They're like question answers, like very vanilla, and Delphi came in because I was on Twitter just hunting around and I tried it out. I was like, holy shit, this thing actually kind of has logic behind it, has a
Yeah.
brain. It's actually following up with me. I'm like, interesting.
Yep.
So I just signed up first, paid for it. And I'll tell you in a moment, but I hit up the co founder, Dara, on Twitter or his email. I found his email on Twitter.
You hunted him down, you stalked him. Okay.
Stalked
Okay.
him.
Okay.
And I was just like, hey, man, this is awesome. Like, I've literally tried 20 of these things and all of them suck except for yours.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of features I'd love to see. Yeah.
Okay, so before we keep going, like, I'm gonna break you there.
Yep.
For those that don't know Delphi, okay, I mean, obviously, it's not everybody knows there, and we talked a little about cloning, but really, we're talking about cloning.
Digital cloning,
Digital
yeah,
cloning, yeah. Well, we haven't gone there yet, but yeah, digital cloning, which to me is so cool. And I mean, let's spend some time getting into that because I know really that's your baby now. But
yeah.
digital cloning, for those who aren't quite understanding what that means, give me the basic sort of digital cloning what you're referencing, and then Delphi obviously is one of the leaders, or if not the leader in doing that, which you're doing some work with. But
Yep.
let's talk about cloning in general.
Yeah, so this whole concept of cloning, or another way is like a digital twin of
There.
yourself. It's basically putting all of your knowledge, like it could be your books, your podcasts, your YouTube videos, blogs, emails, Could even be like your voice diaries or even written stuff that you put out there. But it's your mind. It's a digital mind that it's like a representation of yourself in digital form.
Yeah.
And so that's all loaded into, this protected private database that you have control. It's not like ChatGPT where it's training and going out. And people can interact with text, voice, or video. So it's now, it's serving up your knowledge in a way that's how people want it be received and interact with it. But also, it's literally like mine is almost 3 million words. I mean, I have like access to so many now, but I've seen like 50 million words. I'm like,
Yep.
"Whoa." But just imagine like what it's doing. It's connecting the dots between all of your content from however long ago and relating it exactly to the question that the person asks.
That's the
Like,
most impressive part that I've seen because obviously we're working with you, Delphi, and Brian Tracy, like to create the Brian Tracy Delphi bot, and some of my other clients. I mean, it's just mind blowing. From the voice to the questions that you would ask. It was so fun watching Brian Tracy watch his own bot, and all my clients, like, I had such a fun time with him, right? I mean, I have one of my celebrity golf sort of coaches out there and like, "Okay, now share it on have all your social followers, like, ask you the question, ready? And just or ask your family,
yeah,
like, don't talk to me anymore, talk to the bot." I think we're having so much more fun with it, like yeah,
people do that.
yeah, like, "All right, I'm out, talk to the bot." Talking to my clone, my digital clone. But okay, so I love it. So just to kind of reiterate, it's yeah, you're essentially taking all the info that's ever been accumulated,
Yep,
books, PDFs, voice, everything, and putting it into the AI vortex, the machine, whatever you wanna call it, but yeah, private in the
yep.
vault of you/the slash the person that wants the clone, and these guys, Delphi, who you're doing stuff with, just has really, really good tech on how to make that work very well.
The
Um,
best, and yeah, and, like, literally, I see some of their competitors I get the emails from because 'cause I'm now an advisor of their company. I also am they're basically I onboard all of their top level clients as
yeah.
well, so I see a lot, but at the same time, like, they're iterating so damn fast, and
Oh, I love it. But this is actually a learn too. I wanna share, like, let me know if this needs to get edited out. We'll edit it out, hopefully not. But this is also a cool thing because this brings a little bit of stuff we learned from Roland Frazier and others, quote, consulting for equity, right?
Mhm.
So if you could share that, I mean, this is so cool. I mean, you went from stalking a CEO, a founder of a cool tech you found, and now you're not only the, like, head contract like, they essentially, because they don't have any, like, real marketing people or implementers. You're like the go-to agency that's gonna do the implementations and installs
Yep,
as they're doing their tech work as they should. They're staying in their lane. They're like, "Oh, shit, we actually now need to go help people now. We don't wanna go like,
exactly.
wow, like, go with customers and, like, talk to them, like, all the time." Not to say they wouldn't do that or build a team, but it's obviously nice to outsource that. But you were able to go from stalking co-founder to not only getting a gig, but also getting some equity, which
Mhm.
we wanna talk about that? Because I mean, that could be turned into something really interesting.
I think I'm allowed to talk about it. I mean, I put it on my LinkedIn that I'm an advisor, so it kind of
Okay.
insinuates, like
Alright.
so,
Well,
I mean, yeah, Dar's in Speakeasy too, is a
yeah,
little member, so, yeah.
correct.
Hey, Dar, if you're watching. He's a busy man, though.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, my timeline was, yeah, stalk Dara when I found, "Hey, this is a smart looking tool," and Dara, the co-founder, he got back to me, and the whole thing, and this is another value add back to Loom, I gave him video feedback of his tool because there
Right.
were certain features I wanted to see, like, there was a podcast sync. Like, I was like, "Wouldn't it be cool if when I release an episode, it can immediately sync up with the brain, like the digital brain in Delphi?"
Ooh. Yeah.
He was like, "That's a great idea." So they did it. And then I just kept sending him feedback. I'm like, "Am I ever bugging you? Am I, is this getting annoying?" He's like, "Keep them coming." I'm like, "All right, I'm in."
Yeah.
So but then my marketing connector brain turned on and I was like, you should go to these groups and you should know these people. And, this is kind of how I would angle things rather than, some of the angles they were going,
Right.
which, it was just go to where the market is, but also they have the market as well. Just that's how my brain goes. And they won't say I'm not going to take credit for all the stuff, but I like definitely things have picked up a lot on the marketing side and I just keep giving feedback. I love it.
I wanna run over, but for those again listening and just, as we're all building our careers and doing stuff, back to you're passionate about it and you weren't afraid to do like, "Oh, they probably don't wanna hear from me. I'm gonna, I don't wanna be this annoying guy." But it was
Yeah.
good. I mean, he did the right thing that you wanna see a leader do, which is say, "No, actually give me the feedback I wanna hear," which was great versus saying, "I don't wanna be bothered." And you kept giving, you stayed on it, and all of a sudden you're offering value. Now, like, they're like, "Wait a second, value." Now that turns into a relationship And relationship, they're like, well, like, how did the conversation go? Where all of a sudden they're now asking you to become a consultant and even get some equity and all that. Like, how does that happen?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, like, I was having a lot more chats with Dar at the time because now he's a super busy guy.
Okay.
Still text with him often, but
Okay, you used to be a friend. It used to be on speed dial. Now you've been bumped to like row 5 on the speed dial. Okay.
he responds to my text still.
All right, good.
I just no, I actively just don't bug him as much. But honestly, they got a solid roadmap. They have a solid team. It's grown tremendously.
Yep.
I mean, he offered it to me as like being an advisor, and I was like, "This is cool." Like, it was a
Yeah.
thank you. That's
Yeah.
really what I remember of it, and that was like a holy shit moment for me. I'm like, "This is so cool." Like, I wasn't looking for it at all, but just the fact, again, giving value to a tool that I thought was really cool and I thought other people would like. Genuinely, still to this day, that's how I feel because I'm like, I
Right.
don't see any comparison. I genuinely think it's like connection at scale, and it's what I was looking for back then, but now it just got a lot better. And,
Yeah.
like even today, they rolled out stuff. I was like, didn't see that coming. Awesome. Now I got to relearn this thing. So,
Got it. Now, so like, what percentage of your time now are you dealing with, podcasting world versus like clone world?
well, Clone World has now ramped up a lot because of onboarding all their, the top level clients. So podcasting is one of these things where maybe that's like 20% because I have a team that fulfills all the other stuff in the back end. So I'm just this. Like
Yeah.
I show up for my own show. Like I mentioned, we launched a podcast with this other doctor. Actually, it's launching next Tuesday. But like, I maybe do an interview once a week with them.
Got
And
it.
for my show, maybe it's 1, 2 a week. And it's not a lot. And it's all usually batch recorded is how I try to do it. So my time's not all over the place.
Okay.
That literally team will take it from Riverside, like where we're at now. They use Descript and, Opus.pro for all the clips.
Okay.
Yeah, Descript is for the editing and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then they do all the posting. They will even follow up with people for me. I'll jump in there still, but
Yeah.
I would never do it without a team.
And it's still providing value, the podcasting for a client's potential relationships, all the same things you got in for. So you still get
Man.
that.
Yep.
But now you get to really get passionate about the AI stuff, get that, cross over that bridge into that world and play at a really fun level on a product that you love, that you fell in love with. And now you get to be the sort of head consultant, sort of implementer on.
Yeah. Strategist, marketing mind. Yeah.
Cool.
Now, I didn't know this because I went up to Delphi's office for the first time in San Francisco, met everybody else on the team. They're like, you were the first user, the first paying user. I was like, holy shit, I had no clue. And
Do they have a picture of you on the wall yet? I mean, come on, we got to be like,
they did say, like,
were you like a celebrity walking in there?
they actually said that. They're like, "You will be like a celebrity when you walk in here. Everyone knows it." I'm like, "Okay, that's not gonna make me nervous at all." But
Isn't it funny the whole like San Diego world? And again, I know a lot of our cities, we have San Diego and the more, Austin vibe, the Boise vibe, but it's like you go to San Francisco, different world, right? Just
totally.
the energy is completely different.
I like it, but I'm like, "Okay, this is a whole different level, man." Like, I don't know if I could do the vibe every day like that, but tapping in like once a month or here and there, I'm like, I like it. There's a mission. Everyone like they want to change the world, like big things, you know?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's awesome.
The valley's in the heart of Silicon. Where's that?
They're in downtown or right in the financial area, I think it is.
San Francisco.
But it's that vibe. Like that whole area, it's all startups and it's cool. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So when they get a huge round, get acquired, go public, and all that in your shares, are you buying dinner that night, or what's going on? Are we gonna have?
Yeah, for the San Diego group.
Are you still gonna remember Sammy and I? Sammy's backstage. Are we still gonna be your friends?
He's listening. He's got a Delphi, and I know you do too. So yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, no, we have it over, as I said, we're using it for a few of our clients. And
Yeah,
maybe a last segue we could talk about. We're doing some fun things in speakeasy community with
dude. Yeah.
Delphi. We're about to want to talk about that. I mean, hopefully by the time this goes out, we're of launch because we're going to be launching soon at our big event coming up, or it might be past by the time this comes out. Actually, it will be past because we're going to be launching this afterwards. So the event we were just at, we just launched. I got to talk in
Future.
backwards, future pacing negative. So yeah, let's talk about some of the stuff we're doing in Delphi and speakeasy.
Yeah, man. So you came to me with this idea of, this vision of, hey, I have all these chapters around, well, the US, but now what, Canada.
Yeah, all sorts of countries coming up. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And so the idea is you're in Circle. So you have the community hub and, that's popping off now. It took a while, but
Yep.
like it's tough to herd of cats, and
Yep.
we're all cats here. Don't lie to yourself. But we have a bunch of knowledge. And again, it's like, how do we exchange all this knowledge and make it real time, interactive? Where Bob over here in Boise, I don't know if Bob's in Boise. How about Kurt in Austin? You can go and see what the San Diego group talked about with AI tools this month. or this last month, or, just maybe put it out there and say, who can help me out with paid ads on LinkedIn or
Right.
something.
Right.
And it will theoretically, it should always bring up the best resources for you and drill down to the specific notes, or at least like distill all of the best notes for you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're almost it's like we're turning I don't know how much Delphi has done that because most of the clones have been people.
Yep.
Are we one of the only projects that's, like, actually not a person, but a community? Are we, like, the first community?
Community, yes. There's like resource companions, which
Yeah.
like this kind of is, but this is the only mastermind I know of like doing this.
Oh, look at that. We're pioneering that now. There's, like, the whole new division of Delphi. We're doing that.
Yeah. And I don't know how much more, like, because they are a lot more personal based. So I
Yeah.
will say that, and I'll just toss it out there because I know they want me to to say this more, is like less brand, more person.
Yep.
Because like if you think about it, that's how it started.
Yep.
He's actually the co-founder, like he built his grandfather, who was a big successful businessman, but like a long time ago, he wanted to communicate with him. And
Oh,
so
cool.
he literally built this clone at the time of him so he can interface. And then so ultimately it's rooted in the person rather than a brand or a group. But
Got it. We all should be thankful because if it wasn't for you, we may not have this cool clone because we're sort of taking them down a little bit of a different path just to get
we
the
are.
community clone going. All right, so
That's
appreciate
why
you.
yeah, it's a different use case. That hence why it's taken some
Yeah,
time
yeah.
on the back end, but it's all good.
So we get some upside and benefits of that. And yeah, I mean, really, it is. I mean, I think we're watching user behavior, especially in this community. Like people just want fast, efficient. They just, whatever their chat GTP of the day,
Yeah.
sort of favorite tool is, it's like, I have a question, I want to go there. So like, how do we replicate that mental sort of workflow in our own community? Like you just want to have a question of our own people, let's just ask that question. And so that's kind of cool what we're doing, I think, I hope.
A couple other
Um,
things. There are so many use cases that someone at Speakeasy, assuming that this is all, I don't know if this is only going to Speakeasy people or else.
yeah. Yeah, it should be just the clone. Yeah, the part. Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you can have it write content for you as well. Like, if you
Oh,
prompt it, I mean, it's not made to do this. I mean, I would have to change the instructions on the back end, but Delphi's, they could be a content creator. So, if you imagine it's trained on all this knowledge, how do you want to use that? Like,
nice.
kind of up to you on how to steer it. So, with the speakeasy one, yeah, you can get information, you can ask for advice. Hey, consult me through this issue I'm working through. It can be literally your mentors in a box
Yeah.
at everybody in speakeasy. Like,
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things I'm hoping people take away from it is like, because again, we're a community of people want to help each other out. Like, hey, who could help me figure out this challenge I'm having in the world of podcasting? And like you and Sammy would come up, for example, and others that are involved with in this world. I mean, that's the kind of thing that we're there to serve, and that would be nice to be able to make that happen. So we'll see. I think
and this podcast will be in there too. So any content that's recording right now will live in there
yeah,
automatically.
I
So
love it. I love it. Cool. Well, what's next? What's on the horizon? And then I know we'll wrap soon here. And I also want to talk personal about your family because we got families of the same age. But what's next on the
yeah.
business side?
Business side, so focus. So at Delphi, like really, I can go wide on spinning plates because of just my interest level, and but I love working with cool people. So right now, Delphi, luckily, those people come to me a lot easier because I have that mechanism that I
Right.
can at least like champion. And podcast ain't going anywhere, separate projects kind of spin off like with the doctor, but I'm not taking on a lot more. I'll just
Yeah.
say that because personally, there's some other tools that I'm building with my buddy Bradley Pool, and that'll be coming up soon. But that's another speakeasy.
Let's just say we'll use the hint workflow. Howard word workflow. No, that's great. And I think anybody listening, if you haven't really thought about getting a clone or what that means and all that. I mean, it's just cool. Check it out. Get with Joe. You'll see Dara in our community as well. But Joe already mentioned that he's too busy to answer half of Joe's calls this time. No, he will, but he's a great guy. I love Dara. But
Yes.
if you want quicker feedback and the guy that's actually going to make it happen, want to reach out to Joe on all that.
I can drop a link to my Delphi just to, obviously use the speakeasy one if you got access to it.
Yeah, we could showcase, a few examples of some members in the community that are having it as demos and all that. Absolutely. We can try
That
to
would be
get in there. Yeah,
yeah.
whoever's in there. And I mean, we have already at least three clients on my team already it's using it for.
Yeah, Brian.
Um,
Yeah, like you
Brian
mentioned.
Tracy, Natalie Jill, and then Erica Larkin. Yeah.
There you go. Uh-huh. You'll see more, but yeah, I mean, I'd say the whole like the mind shift that I've had, and I still have more, is like we're living in an era that you don't need to box up the content that you're sitting on, but also just like literally your mind, like your journaling. You can make private versions of this. And that's how I see it is like okay, if I can like brain dump or put everything into this box that's protected and I control how it's used. I mean, I could have it, and I've already built this for myself, like a superhuman Joe. So it's like, here's Joe 10 years from now telling me advice of like how I should act with like, let's say a new client I'm bringing on. I could say,
Yeah.
here's the situation I'm dealing with. Okay. It's going to steer me with like the game plan. It
Oh,
can,
you're good. Yeah. One more thing to talk about with that, because before I go now, first of all, I'm going to say for anybody thinking, I can't believe how inexpensive it is, to be honest with you, to do this. Like, I don't know if they're undercharging. Maybe Dar shouldn't be listening to this on anyway, but it's really inexpensive when you think about it. Obviously, there's different levels, but you can certainly go up the level. But just for some of the basic stuff that especially members of our community might
yep.
be interested in, I mean, your monthly is not bad at all. It's like $100 a month or 300-400 bucks a
Oh,
month.
I mean, the lowest, if you pay annual, it's 19 a month.
Oh, it's a joke, yeah, for what you get, and then the how, for anybody thinking about how they would use it, let me sort of take a stab, but, from my sense, then you're gonna correct me, but, I look at and you guys have what's called instances, like your, different clones, like how you use it,
Okay.
and I always think of, like, the 2 big ones. One to me is, like, lead gen, gated, "Hey, you wanna interact with," one of my I'll use Erica Larkin, golf pro, if you wanna talk to her, a golf coach, and ask questions, great, give us your email, and then I'm getting and we're literally trying this week to do paid ads just to get leads into the
Cool.
queue to get to talk to the clone. And well, you know how that goes. It's pretty excited
Yeah.
to test that. And then ultimately, the sort of other instance, if you will, or part version of the clone would be almost behind the gated wall. Like, hey, if you spend $1,000 to buy my product, my digital product, whatever it is, you get access to me to clone 24/7. So you can always write. So rather than the old school way of, I want to learn about this one thing that might be on lesson number 5, 3 minutes into the lesson, I'm just asking the question. I'm getting the answer real time, what I want answers to. And
That's
that
right.
would be sort of the paid version that the clones clients can charge. Did I kind of get that right?
Yeah, those are some of the most common ones. So it's like the front end, yeah, lead gen or customer service. You can
Yep.
have it do that. Could be that public profile of you.
Yep.
But like what you could do is program it, even with all of your material, it's okay. I say like put it all out there because people still need to navigate and you give it a set of instructions for the public to say, hey, follow this journey. Here are some call to actions to take them down,
Mhm.
depending on what they're asking. You could say, okay, well, they're interested in this, in my book. They're asking a lot of questions about it. Well, why not put a little ad there so they click and actually buy the
Ah.
book? Or like go get the freebie thing landing page I already have set up. Then you're sending them off that journey.
So it's just creating a little funnel. You're getting them in a fun way, going funnel. And I forgot the customer support thing, obviously brilliant. I mean, tons of savings there just to have
The
that.
last one, like, and here's the one that most people forget is I mentioned earlier, have an internal version for your team. So not only can people on your team go to there to ask questions so they don't go to you anymore.
Mm.
Have all your SOPs in there, whatever you want, best ways of doing stuff, but also make it a content creator. So now they can generate blog posts, emails,
Oh,
newsletters,
whoa.
scripts, social posts, all
Damn.
that stuff. I mean, gonna be better than ChatGPT because it knows more about you and your brand,
I mean, if you haven't built one, I already see Joe Fier's how to use a clone book, ebook. If I already have that done, well, that's great.
I need to get it done.
And then tell us about the personal side of Joe. You got a beautiful family, right?
Few daughters, yeah, beautiful wife. I was just at their school today, and I was the Easter bunny.
Oh, nice.
I have pictures to prove it. Yeah, it was right
And we'll
before
put that
this.
in the show notes. I want to see Easter Bunny coming up there.
Oh, well, it was fun, man. It was sweaty, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 5.5-year-old and a 1.5 almost, and awesome. I mean, a lot of sleepless nights and getting sick often, which I think you are too, huh?
Yeah, we're trying to get through that. Yeah, exactly. That's and our young ones are almost the same age. Almost in that period where we're almost out of it.
2 girls as well, right?
No, girl and boy.
But I mean, I'll say the thing that keeps me sane that maybe the 9 months I've been doing it is jujitsu, Brazilian
Jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
You might see some choke marks on my neck
Oh
from this
boy.
morning, but I literally it's like the best thing I think I've done in a very long time. Like talk about grounding and
Wow.
chilling me out and humbling me, but also put me in the best shape ever. It's just throwing
Wow.
bodies around.
One time a day can you escape? What's the routine? When can you get out?
I've started time blocking. I have it on my calendar now. It's 3 days a week, but I go 10 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and then I actually went 6 a.m. this morning. So Fridays are my early days. And
Got it. All right. So you just make it happen. And then when is family time? When do you pause for that?
always the morning. That's blocked
Okay.
off until about 9 a.m. So slow morning, even though it feels fast because it's always going.
Yep.
I'm always at home. Like I work at home. So
Yep.
I always hang out. I'm always dipping in there and hanging out maybe for like 30 minutes here and there. So
Yeah.
it's very flexible. Hang outside, go on a walk. But then the evening, I'm trying to wrap up usually by 4:30. So,
Okay.
keeping me a little longer. But no,
Wow.
it's all good.
Oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble. I think I hit the kids screaming in the background. Natty's not getting a gold star tonight. We're getting in trouble.
I think I actually booked it this late. I was like, damn, I got bunny time in the middle of the day. Like,
No, well, hey, look, you already earned some extra awards this afternoon. You got some, some rope here to you good.
right? Yeah, I'm dead by chance.
You're good. Well, cool. Anything else you want to share today? It was great catching up. I mean, I learned some things today, and
Yeah.
I've always loved talking to you and getting your wisdom.
I'm just gonna give some appreciation to you because I like that you're doing this show for one, and props to Sammy for putting a lot of stuff together too. Sammy Taggett. Speakeasy in general, I just freaking love. Like the community, San Diego is rock solid, but the fact that you have this whole network and how fast it's picking up, it just blows my mind. And
Nice.
literally, I talk to people all the time, even like
Appreciate it.
showing the map on the website. Wait, look, that's a new dot. That's a new.
I love it. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And
You're rocking, man.
thank you so much for the kind words. Thanks for the time. And anybody wants to reach out to Joe, want to get your clone, you want to learn about podcasting, feel free to connect. And we'll see you next time.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And that's a wrap from the Speakeasy Podcast. If something sparked for you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, review it, and pass it to the one person who needs to hear this right now. Want in on the real mastermind? Tap the link in the show notes to apply. Until next time, keep scaling, stay sharp, and don't be the smartest one in the room.